Hi, my name is Matt Newrick, and I'm owner and head instructor of Elite Defense Systems. What I'd like to do today is discuss a very, very unique range of fighting. We call that close quarters. A lot of people call it the clinch. There's numerous other names for it as well, but we just call it close quarters. And close quarters is by far the best range to know in self-defense. Understand that I didn't say it's the only range that we need to know in self-defense. It's one of 5, but it is the one out of the 5 that you have to learn. If I only had an hour to teach a loved one self-defense, knowing that they were going to be in a very dangerous, violent altercation, literally that night, I would take that hour out just to focus on close quarters. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and show you or prove to you why close quarters is so important by making sure you understand 10 solid reasons of why this is. What we're going to do in between those reasons is go ahead and just have Paul and Tom work through a close quarters round with a simple pad and using simple tools like elbows, knees, and headbutts. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have them go through round 1. Set, go!
Elbow, headbutt. 2 headbutts in the knee. 3 knees. Elbow. 2 right elbows and a headbutt.
Time. The first reason of why close quarters is the range you have to know in self-defense is the fact of close quarters has the most amount of leverage it'll give to a person, meaning that what you put out has really the most amount of bang for your buck. Kind of goes hand in hand for the second reason. The second reason is that close quarters is just very, very effective. It's effective regardless of who we're fighting, and that's a beautiful thing about it. The third reason I'd like to point out is that it's very, very efficient. It doesn't take that long to throw some of the tools that obviously Tom was throwing around there, as opposed to winding up for a kick or pulling back a punch or even setting in some kind of choke or arm bar. Those are the first 3 reasons I want to go over. I'll go over a couple more after this next round. Guys?
Elbow, knee, headbutt. 2 knees, 2 right elbows. 2 left elbows and a knee.
Time. Fourth reason is that close quarters allows us to fight outside of our weight class. One of the things that holds so many boxers back, so many kickboxers back, even so many wrestlers back from really being effective with people outside of their weight class is for the simple fact is they never get to train with people in their weight class. I mean, think about it. Punch for punch, pound for pound, you're rarely, if ever, going to see a lightweight fight a heavyweight. However, in close quarters acts as a great equalizer to even up the playing field. So once again, it allows us to fight outside of our weight class. Another thing you have to keep in mind is that close quarters really allows us to make sure that it's easy to learn. And if you think about how much time it takes a person to really learn tools like elbows, knees, and headbutts and compare that up against, let's say, boxing tools or even grappling tools, there is a wide gap of a difference right there. So once again, it's very, very easy to learn. It's also very, very easy to train. I mean, right here, I think we're showing it. All you need is a person and a pad, and Tom's getting a great workout in using his elbow, knees, and headbutts. If you didn't have, let's say, a training partner or even a pad, could Tom do the exact same thing up against, let's say, like a heavy bag or something like that? Yes, without a doubt. Could even do these tools up against air, just like shadow boxers do. He can use his elbows, knees, and headbutts and just do it like a solo workout. And once again, I'll leave it right there. These guys are going to come on in and do another round.
Elbow, 2 knees. 3 knees and a headbutt. Come on, 3 knees and the right elbow. Alternating knees. 2 left elbows, 1 right elbow. Elbow, headbutt.
Time. Just like I explained before that it's very, very easy to learn, it's very, very easy to train. The next reason I like to throw out there, it's very, very easy to maintain. It doesn't take years upon years to not only learn these tools, but it doesn't take that long to maintain these tools. I always equate these tools as, it is very, very similar to riding a bike. Once you have them down, you have them down. It doesn't mean that once you learn them, you should ditch them and never see them again. Because we can always get better, we can always improve, we can always sharpen that saw. The exact same thing here. As obviously Tom is doing this, he's getting better and better every single rep that he's doing. The next reason I'd like to go over is that close quarters is a very, very unique range. It still blows my mind that most people are not comfortable fighting in close quarters. If you set two common people, let's say right against each other, kind of nose to nose, and say fight, you're either going to push off each other and throw a punch, or they're going to attack at each other and start grappling. The ninth reason that I like to cover right here, as far as why close quarters is a range you have to know, not just should know, is the simple fact that it is the common denominator of all altercations. I don't care if you're talking about a boxing match, a kickboxing match, an MMA round, a grappling or wrestling match, or a plain old street fight. All fights at some point are going to cross through or get into close quarters. I mean, think about what happens when boxers just start boxing it out. At some point, they start tying on up, and if a referee wasn't there to break them on up and get them back to that comfortable boxing range, they would probably just stay latched on up right there. Same thing would happen in MMA rounds, same thing would happen in kickboxing rounds, and even in stick fighting tournaments, I've seen people start walloping each other and just get too close and start wrapping up on each other. So if you know close quarters, you can have a major, major advantage right there.
Elbow, elbow, elbow. 2 left elbows, 1 right elbow. 3 right elbows. Good. 2 left elbows, 2 knees.
Good time. Pull back hard for a second. Five. The 10th and final reason that I'd like to cover, and believe me, I can go all day long on this, is the fact that close quarter tools are based on gross motor movements. Now, there's 3 kinds of motor movements. There is what we call fine motor movements, complex motor movements, and gross motor movements. Fine motor movements is like if you would take a key and put it in a keyhole. You would need fine motor movements in order to do that. Complex motor movements is usually doing multiple movements at the same time. So if I'm running and also throwing a ball, that would be a great example of complex motor movements. Gross motor movements is one-step movements, usually carried out by large muscle groups. So if you take a look at the close quarter tools that Tom has been doing through this video clip, elbows, knees, and headbutts, you can't get more gross motor skill based than that. So once again, gross motor skills are so important. The reason why they're so important is because when your heart's beating on your chest and you're really trying to defend yourself in a real life violent altercation, your fine motor skills are going to go out the window. It's like, imagine if you're walking down the driveway, you get a little scared because maybe you hear some feet behind you or something like that. Try to get that key in that keyhole, you'll be skipping all around that keyhole. Same exact thing for complex motor movements. When the body is under stress, doing complex motor movements, or at least the performance value, goes down quite a bit. Gross motor movements, on the other hand, especially in stressful situations, actually increase. That's why powerlifters will get themselves really pumped on up before they go ahead and make a major lift. And so that's what we have to understand about close quarters. Close quarters, once again, these movements are based on gross motor skill movements, and that's why they're so important.